Welcome back to We Needed Roads, a podcast that proves you don't need qualifications, training, or even basic emotional stability to pilot a space mission. Review films on the internet. Just a mic, a take, and the confidence of someone explaining astrophysics after a few small beers. That's not you, Jose. This week, we're diving headfirst into Project Hail Mary, a story about a guy who wakes up alone in space, confused, terrified, and wildly underqualified. So basically, Jose on a Monday morning.
Yeah, see? I was on the right track.
Jose is here and he's ready to latch onto any weird alien creature like it's his new best mate or potential pet. And honestly, we're one episode away from firing him into space. Marie's here too. And look, statistically speaking, there's a very high chance she's about to emotionally imprint on something in this film. Could be a character, could be a concept, could be a space rock with backstory. We'll find out together. And I'm Neil, your host, and I'm the only person here who hasn't read the book before seeing the film. We're talking science, survival, loneliness, existential dread, science, and whether humanity's best hope is really just send the bloke into space and hope for the best. Spoiler, it always is, especially if that one man is Ryan Gosling. So grab your spacesuits, question your life choices, and remember, if the mission fails, it's probably Jose's fault. Yes, today we are diving into the first bona fide box office smash, hopefully, of 2026. And already many people's pick of Film of the Year. Some have even said decade. As Lord and Miller adapts Andy Weir of The Martian's fame and the lesser loved, but me and Jose still like it, Artemis, this is the best-selling sci-fi epic Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling and an alien called Rocky. This film has been billed as Interstellar meets E.T., and I think that's pretty apt. It's we need one clever guy who's vastly underqualified at some aspects of his job to take a one-way ticket to save the Earth from the very cool-sounding astrophage. Except instead of timey-wimey, Nolan-esque plotting, we get a much more straight-ahead buddy movie as Gosling's Grace meets an alien he names Rocky who is trying to save his people. Space buddy movie. So let's get this astrophage-powered podcast underway as we get into the good, the bad, and the what the fuck from Project Hail Mary. So, first off, Jose, initial response to the film.
I liked it.
Amazing. Moving on. No.
For me, I didn't know what to expect as it being a book adaptation. And I would say that as they go...
Surely an adaptation of a book that is now a film, you knew exactly what to expect.
Right, yeah. But in terms of like the storyline, yes. But I there's always things that they're going to change. And in this case, there were things that they kind of skimmed over, I would say would be the nice way of saying it. But overall, I still like the movie. I think it's a fun experience and visually just stunning. So I'll keep it simple.
And Marie.
Yeah, overall, I found it very enjoyable. The movie managed to capture the spirit of the book. And even though, like, on the surface level, it looks like a loyal adaptation, I still wouldn't call it like a word-for-word adaptation. They did, like, obviously when adapting something, you do have to change it for a certain medium. So I understand the changes that they made. So I'm not angry about them, but I think I'm going to say, like, I love the movie, but I still adore the book. Like, the book is still a lot higher ranking for me.
Yeah, for me, I had a rough idea of what I was expecting when I went in. Like, I was expecting Interstellar meets E.T. with the format of The Martian, and that's exactly what I got, to be fair. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it as well. I think I gave it 5 stars, and I do think it's just a really superb, well done Hollywood blockbuster, which we're in short supply of these days. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the what the fuck from Project Hail Mary. So the good. Well, first off, it's got to be the Swan Man, Gosling himself. Come on. This guy carries pretty much the whole film himself on his back, acting against probably a green puppet on a stick. I mean, no, they probably had actual Rockies there for him to interact with.
No, it wasn't animatronic. Actually, the lack of green screen they used in this movie is actually fairly impressive. They relied nearly solely on practical effects and practical sets, which I think
So it is real Rocky.
It's real Rocky. It's a puppet. It's a puppet.
Yes. Excellent.
And you can actually go meet Rocky in London if you want, Neil, if you want to take that trip.
Sure.
Oh,
see him in his little Xenonite bubble.
I have been championing Gosling for such a long time. He's one of my favorite actors.
Wait.
Sorry,
Uh,
I just
Go
Jose
ahead.
is making it sound like he discovered Ryan Gosling, like he's not like an Oscar-winning
no,
actor
no.
already.
Here's the
Wait,
thing
is he an Oscar-winning actor?
He has won an Oscar, has he?
best
Yeah.
supporting actor for Barbie.
Barbie?
Yeah.
You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna
He
just check
definitely
this.
has
Hang
one.
on.
He definitely has one. But anyway.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was that. Or something. Or yeah.
Carry
now I'm
on.
doubting
I am looking it
myself.
up.
I thought it
Okay,
was Blue
so
Valentine.
here's the
but
thing:
anyway.
Ryan Gosling is a movie star. Yes, he is. He's been in very good movies as far back, as early as his career. His Drive is critically acclaimed, but not financially successful.
Drive's amazing.
Drive.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is
Yeah, didn't he win for
critically,
Sorry.
I don't know. Here's the thing: is with
Ooh.
Gosling,
Look.
critically, he's done so much amazing work, but financially, he's never been someone to draw in large crowds. And with the stunt movie that he did recently with
The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy,
Yeah.
The Fall Guy, I was really hoping that would allow him to be a big hit movie star, because there's some movie stars we just know because they do a lot of work, but Ryan Gosling is one of those elusive ones. He does great in ensemble casts, but in a movie that he leads, it's really tough for him to make money for his movies. So with this project, pun intended, I was really hoping that he gets his blockbuster due.
I am completely disagreeing with you there, Jose. I don't think Gosling does ensemble films at all. He is the star in almost all the films he is in.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can argue Barbie, but he's basically co-lead with Margot Robbie in that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just
La
saying.
La Land, him and Emma Stone, he's their leads.
Yeah. Financially, though, did it blow up the theaters? Did it make a lot of money?
I think it
mean,
did. I think La La
Barbie
Land
did.
was no, but La La
shut
Land
up.
was also very popular.
Oh, and just to confirm, guys,
Uh-huh.
Ryan Gosling has never won an Academy Award.
What, really?
Oh, damn. What did he win?
He has been nominated 3 times. He was nominated for Half Nelson, where he played the school teacher back in 2007, for La La Land, and for Barbie.
He wasn't nominated for Drive.
He is wide.
Interesting.
No, Drive. Critics loved it, and the general public were like, "What's this now?" And then they discovered
this
it
is
years
another
later.
Star movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
love
that's the
Drive.
thing is, I
I
think
love Drive,
critically
same.
Ryan Gosling was respected, but I think financially he hasn't really gotten many hits on his own. Many. So like, I mean, La La Land we were trying to say, but I think that's one of the few that really made a lot of money. Crazy Stupid Love, it was an ensemble. He was not the only star in there, but
He's
that one
kind
made
of
money.
co-lead again with him and
I
wait, was it
mean-
Emma Stone again?
Yeah.
Emma
They've done a lot
Stone.
together. That is my
There's
favorite.
a lot of people in that
rom-com.
movie.
That is.
Jose, I get your point. I just think you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I think he needs like on box office level. Like he's more of an
Yeah, you're going
indie
by box
darling,
office.
but I think Barbie kind of negates that point. But
And also, I even with that, I kind of disagree because he'll do the indie films, then he'll do a big blockbuster film, then he'll do the indie film. And if you look, Fall Guy, big blockbuster film, then he'll go and do something smaller and indie, then he'll do
Blade Runner? Great movie. Did it make a lot of money?
Blade Runner's a strange one. No, but the original Blade Runner, they didn't make any money either. So, in some ways,
that's
it was
the
a perfect
thing.
sequel.
I'm telling you, critically adored.
But let's not talk about Blade Runner.
financially.
Gosling.
That's what I'm talking about. Gosling.
Before we talk about him so long, he ages out and becomes a swan.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think there was like a lot of pushback when Gosling actually got cast as Grace. I think a lot of people said he was a bit too handsome, which I don't complain. But I mean, I wonder if Jose actually agrees with me about this. But I think Grace in the movie is very different to Grace in the books, and I don't think that is a bad. It's just the books. The humor of the books comes predominantly from Grace's narration. And obviously, I'm very grateful that they did not do that because I fucking hate narration in movies. I think this is such a bad ploy. So, plot, way to communicate information. But then, Grace himself had to be a bit more physical, had to be a bit more comic relief, and so because there are moments, and these are the small changes. Like for example, one thing that when Grace meets Rocky in the book, he's actually really excited. In the movie, that's played for comedy. and there's a lot more physical comedy, and I think I'll get more into this with the bad, but overall I don't think this is a bad thing. It was a good way to state a narrative, but they are two different characters in my opinion.
I agree. They're definitely different characters, and Ryan Gosling brings his persona to this. I feel like this is definitely Ryan Gosling's territory with comedy, as we've seen with SNL. He's very good at physical comedy, very good at riffing. It turns out, because a lot of the dialogue from I've seen in one interview he did, the reason that Rocky was voiced by James Ortiz was because he was the puppeteer, and they were both being able to riff off each other. And that's what Gosling brought to the role, which it's like I'm not complaining either, but it is a very different character from the book version, because the book version was more witty and sarcastic maybe, and a little more sharp, and then Gosling's a little more approachable, funny, and goofy. And I think it works for the movie though. I think it really helps people enjoy the movie that much more.
I feel like Gosling's kind of following a very similar career path to Matthew McConaughey now, in terms that it's kind of he's got that very easygoing, likable persona. You know, he did his rom coms and romantic stuff near the start of his career. Then he did his big blockbuster stuff. Hey, I mean, you know, again, Interstellar, very similar kind of film, really, in some ways.
I think he's finding his niche. I think he's finding his niche as a comedian, and kind of using that to base some of his characters. Because the other guys, no, yeah, the nice guys,
The
The
Nice
Nice
the
Guys,
Guys,
nice
again, a
guys,
very underrated movie. No.
very underrated,
literally on my shelf next to Drive.
right? And it's one of those where he plays a very layered character, but because of his physicality and his ability to do comedy, and so Gosling, he's so good at that. But he is a dramatic actor, so like obviously, like we say, Drive, such a deep role.
But yeah, Gosling, good, very good. Now,
Yes.
moving on, there's not really many other actors in the film, let's be honest, but Sandra Hüller. Oh, I loved Sandra Hüller being the most on-screen German of all time, and just her hilarious curtness was amazing. And the trailer really didn't convey that. It didn't
Mhm.
convey how funny she is, and it was the exact same scenes, just obviously cut differently from the trailer. And like, what is the line? What is the line? I've got it here somewhere. One of my favorite lines she comes out with. Yes. The consensus here is it would be preferable if you did not die.
Yes, that was a great line right there. And so actually that reminds me, one of the good things about this film is, I think definitely in the intro, they fleshed out some characters and some moments that weren't quite the same in the book. Like the whole issue, the way that they went to like that I want to say Home Depot. I don't know if it's a Home Depot, but him
Other stores are available
scene where they were like playing around. I think that really helped this Lionel Boyce's Officer Carl. That really kind of helped flesh that character out more, because I don't
from
think
the
they really had
bear.
that. Yes, I don't think they really had to do that, but the fact that they did that helped kind of give some weight to their characters.
I tell you, what made me laugh in that scene at the Home Depot is it just basically looks like they're two serial killers buying lots of stuff to murder people in a murder dungeon.
I mean, what are you going to do with aluminum foil though? Like,
I don't know,
I could
Jose.
see,
I'm not
I
a
could see
serial
the duct
killer.
tape. Yeah.
You know, the sad part is, well, I mean, not maybe sad part, but just because I am German, I think Germans are going to look at that performance and think, why is everyone laughing? Because I definitely have relatives like that who are just don't realize that they're actually being funny when they're just talking such a deadpan way. But no, she is brilliant, and just like basically the entire fate of the world is put on one person's shoulder. And in the books, we kind of get into more details how she actually got this position. And so yeah, and I think she played it off really well. I mean, she's not in that much of the movie. It's like quite short snippets that we see her in. But I think in the short time that she had with the character, that was very much portrayed. Like, and just yeah, the weight of just having the entire fate of the planet just on you, and the cutthroat decisions you need to make that done.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing that I really liked was the split narrative, because I was like, okay, is it going to go chronological? Oh no! And when it started with him in the ship, I was like, oh, okay, it's going to start here, then we're going to flash back, and then it's going to work its way forward. But it didn't. It was so. Is the book the same, where it's you jump back and
The
forth a
book is
lot?
the exact same. The one thing that and you kind of got it in one moment with the short flashback when they talk about the centrifuge. But the one thing that the book really does well is that when Grace sees items in the ship, it kind of triggers his memory to that one flashback, because there are like genuine moments where he's in the ship and he's like, okay, this doesn't make sense in a normal scientific lab, but there would be a reason why this is here. Why is this here? Like, I know this information, I just need to think back on it.
Yeah, that didn't really come through with me, that he was walking around the ship remembering stuff. It was just kind of, they set it up at the start that he couldn't remember anything, and then it was pretty much, and you remember everything.
I'm gonna say that I'm glad we have Neil, because I really enjoyed the fact that you just went through the movie. You didn't see anything that was worth nitpicking, or at least
Well, we haven't
like
got
not
to my
worth.
other bits yet, Jose.
Okay. But if anything, you enjoyed the movie, and I
For what
am
it was
curious.
as a movie. Yeah.
Yes, because there are some things as a book reader that you're like, ooh,
But
but
here's my counterpoint as the book readers. Like, the main things you guys have said is they had, oh, we wanted this and we wanted to see more of this, but you can't do that in one film. It was
oh,
two and a
hell
half
yeah,
hours as it was.
that is correct. And to be honest, in terms of book adaptations, I think they did a great job of not adding or taking things. And like, there was one good part that I think that where they added
Only
Strat.
one.
Well, in terms of like something that was different from the book, they added Strat at the end of the movie. In the book, it wasn't there, and I kind of like that.
So wait, when she gets you see
When
her
she gets
receive
See,
the
no, we
message.
didn't. The in the books, the only indication that we get that Grace succeeds is that Rocky tells him that Earth's sun has started to recover. So like they're
Okay.
monitoring Earth from Erid, and they realize that their sun is, and that's how they realize that. So yeah, we never see it. I personally, when I read the book, I really did also hope that this scene would have like the scene on back on Earth would have been included, and I thought the movie would probably do this. However, this kind of shows how much of a petty bitch I am, because I would have still started with like a fuck you to Strat, going, how the fucking dare you send me to space without my consent? Like I think Grace is a much better person than I would, because I would have, yeah, I saved humanity, but still, fuck you. Like
one of my favorite little things, when he was trying to communicate with Rocky at the start, the musical riff from what film?
Bum 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 bum. 2001, or no, Close
No.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
Sorry, Close Encounters.
John Williams.
Sorry, I totally messed that up. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh no, I'm leaving it in, Jose. You've been hung by your own close encounter.
I'm not a music guy, all right? But I did catch that, and I love that inclusion. I'm like, is this the same movie company? Is this 20th Century Fox or who? But like, actually, this was an Amazon film. That's what I noticed in the beginning. That was crazy.
MGM,
I thought
Amazon.
it was Apple.
Yeah.
Why did I think it was Apple? Like,
because it's got that Apple sheen to it.
Yeah, like
Right?
when I saw the Amazon logo, I was like, wait, I thought that was Apple, and then I got very nervous because I thought I was sitting in the wrong screening.
Yeah, but actually, with you saying sheen, another great positive is just a beautiful movie. It's so beautiful in the space.
Oh, the cinematography.
I freaking loved it. And like,
do you know who the
having that moment-
cinematographer is?
Who's the cinematographer? Tell me, Neil.
The cinematographer is one of our favourite cinematographers on this We Need Heroes podcast. Good old Greig Fraser. I'm going to have to tell you what he's done now, aren't I? June. Then he went and did The Batman. Then he went and did June 2. And then he went and did this.
Not June?
June, as in the month,
Dune.
Jose. Don't be a dick. I don't make fun of your accent.
I have no accent. What are you talking about? I can definitely see the guy from Dune doing this movie. It's so fucking beautiful. Like the moment where he's on the spaceship and he's going through the red Talmiba. That is just like one of my favorite moments. Like, I'm having a moment. I love that.
Yeah, no, it was visually stunning, and it was something like I was wondering like how, in a way, they would make the story visually interesting, because like the entire like the book is just a dude in a spaceship. Like, so like that is not really that interesting, and also you kind of already had that with The Martian, and then also is it called Moon?
Moon, yeah.
Very different movie.
Very different movie,
Yeah.
but still like
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, in that like just capsule story. So, but adding all these like visuals in is
And don't forget Moonfall with Samuel Tarly.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone forgot Moonfall, didn't they?
Yeah.
Don't know what you're on about.
So I think that's the one thing that they really
There is a
pushed
cat
for.
in that film called Fuzz Aldrin, and that alone should make you want to watch it.
But that's the thing I think with Project Hail Mary, that tells you what they wanted to focus on. And a lot of what they did was they increased the buddy aspect of the movie and kind of pulled back from some of the other moments to kind of reinforce that. Because honestly, a lot of the science wasn't necessary. It was a huge part of the book and a lot of him talking to himself. But with the buddy aspect, I think it really helps kind of narrate the film in a way that just general audiences can kind of take it in.
What else have you got on the good, Marie?
To accompany the visuals, the music. The music was
Oh, yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. Not even just like this like the songs they chose, but also the score and how they chose the score when they had like moments of complete quiet. Like that was just so
Yes.
well done. And it's that they really like it was so thoughtfully done where they had these like big orchestral riffs, but then they just had moments of complete silence that just again like you could feel the emptiness of space and you could like it was really amazing. And I think it's one of the soundtracks I'm going to now listen to while working because it just was gorgeous.
And of course, it was done by fellow Englishman Daniel Pemberton, who did the Spider-Verse soundtrack as well.
Oh man, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And actually, hey, the Spider-Man, Lord and Miller.
Yeah, that's but I worked with him.
I don't know. I had a thought and it just kind of fizzled out.
And it died in your mouth on the way out. One other thing I really loved, it's only a tiny little thing, when he's trying to find a voice for Rocky and he's like, whoa, no, it's the one that sounds like very porno. And then the next one is Helen Mirren. I was like, that was a really fun. That got a really big laugh. No, it was Helen Mirren.
Oh, Helen Mirren.
Oh,
God. Man.
Jose, you saw the film literally yesterday.
I thought it was a different actress.
I saw it a week ago. I would get it if you had gone, oh, well, all English people sound the same. But Sigourney Weaver is American, Jose.
That's yeah.
If the voice had said, get away from her, you bitch, you might have picked up on it, maybe. Oh, my God, he forgot that line. He's Googling. He's literally Googling it. This is great for audio, Jose. I'm just saying. This is a great audio thing. Also, I checked the credits when I was walking out, and it said Helen Mirren as herself. So
all right. I could have sworn there was a different female actress that like Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, my God, shut your face.
Hey.
Adrian! Let's talk
that was
Rocky.
Great. I loved Adrian.
Well, we didn't really see Adrian in it.
No, I'm just saying the name Adrian.
Just the name Adrian.
This
is falling to pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Now the bad. Let's talk about the bad.
No. Wait.
Oh, the good. All right. Just saying.
Are you drunk? Like,
you don't decide
here?
these things, Jose. You have no power here. We need to talk Rocky in the good.
Rocky. Oh, so good. Yes.
No, you don't, Marie. Go Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, when I read the book, I was like thinking, like, how are they gonna make a giant like rock spider look not goofy? But he looked exactly like I imagined him in the book. I don't know if I like mentioned this ever before. I've got a visual memory, so when I read books, they play out in my brain like a movie. So with adaptations, especially loyal ones, it's a bit difficult to separate which scenes I've made up and which ones are from the movie. Yeah, Rocky looked like I imagined, but I also like that they kind of included little details on him, like the tattoos or like technically the carvings that he had on his like
that was
legs.
Cool.
That was like really, again, like such a great element of visual storytelling. I also don't think he wears clothes in the books, like, so the fact that he had like little clothes throughout, like he had the little celebration outfit which was really cute, and then Grace puts the party hat on him, which is really sweet.
I thought the production design on Rocky was amazing, like we established. Acting, I think, against an actual puppet is going to make it so much easier to get emotion. And like I said, the fact that you've got an alien rock spider as the co-star of the film, and it's such a well-rounded character, they get I was going to say the word humanity through, but that's not the right word because he's an alien. But it shows you how similar they are, that they're both on similar missions. When we learn about Rocky and he has his family, and he goes, oh yes, I have a partner, their name is, and he makes that noise. And he goes, "Yep, I'm going to call her Adrian." It was really good,
Yeah.
and like the fact you all emotionally connect to him. I mean, they pull the ET move right when you think Rocky's died, but anyone who watches that, we're just like, Rocky's not dead, because it would be much more fun. We all know he's
Oh, they
coming
keep
back,
cutting to him, so it's like,
just
are we
laying
waiting
there.
for him to move? It's like, although Marie, you have better memory than me with this part. Is he? They really changed that aspect of the film compared to the book, right? Because I don't remember him being like out for that long.
Yeah, no, he was out. They did change a few things. And like Neil said like, oh, it's so obvious he's coming back. In the book, he wasn't. I was messaging Jose in tears, going, "Did Rocky just die? What is happening?" Like I was distraught. And yeah, in the book, that sequence is a lot longer. So basically, because in the movie when Grace finds Rocky, he's already in a xenonite cage. But in the book, he doesn't get back to it. So Grace has to actually carry Rocky to
And he burns
and he
himself.
burns himself because Rocky's so hot, and he struggles to carry him because Rocky is
Ah,
literally made out of rocks and he's heavy.
Hot Rocks.
That was terrible. So yeah, so he actually like carries him back to his
Yeah, it
like
was.
xenonite night area, the xenonite closed off area of the spaceship. There is like another element in the book where Grace tries to help him, and that is where he like builds a device to blast off all the ash that has accumulated on Rocky. And
Yes, that's what it was.
yeah, and then, but I understand why they left that part out, because Rocky kind of just said, "No, that actually could have killed me. Like that wasn't helpful at all. Like that was actually like a protective layer trying to repair my skin, and you just blasted that off. That's why I've been in a coma for so long." So it was kind of superfluous. So I understand why they left that part out, and they could have like stayed a bit more longer with it.
It's funny. Everything you guys, even though we're not in the bad yet, everything you guys have brought up that you have an issue with is to do with it not being included in the length of something being cut
I
down.
mean, isn't that like the common like complaint of the
It's
book of a book
that's
fan? Like,
Here's a question for you then: Is would you rather have preferred to see this as a limited series or as a movie?
oh, I think I'm
I don't think it could have been executed as well as a limited
to
series.
be
It would have been able to tell the story better, but visually, I don't know if they would have the budget.
to be honest, I
Yeah,
agree with you. I agree, and I think like this whole story, like yeah, it works as like a long. Like it works as a movie. There are some moments where I genuinely think let it breathe, and it's actually interesting because I even because I said like maybe just if it had like an extra like 10 or 20 minutes on the runtime, and because like I thought this movie was rather fast paced, and like compared to The Martian where Ridley Scott like
Oh,
he
yeah.
loves his long run times, The Martian does feel like it drags a bit. And then I looked it up, and turns out Project Hail Mary is actually 6 minutes longer than The Martian, and I genuinely thought it was the other way around. Like,
Yeah.
uh, um,
see, I disagree again. I thought the pacing was spot on it. I thought,
Oh.
despite the film being 2.5 hours, I never felt that the pacing was too fast. I actually thought it was taking its time nicely with all the scenes. Like, okay, all the flashbacks are filling in all the backstory for the bits that we need when we get back, because that works really well, the split narrative. But also, if you boil the film down to its most basic elements, it's Gosling goes to space, meets Rocky, and it's kind of there's a problem, they fix problem, then there's another problem, fix problem, there's another problem, fix problem, happy ending.
You know what's
It's
funny? It's there were actually a lot more problems they didn't even include in the movie.
right, and I'm assuming
And
I'm
like I
absolutely
mean, like the way you
and
said that, Neil, you basically described the plot of the book. However, there is so much that happens in between.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, honestly though, like again, this is it's so nuanced, but I did enjoy the movie. Like in terms of book adaptations, I think it did a great job of making it into a good movie. Like 2.5 hours is a long movie, and it felt fast for
It's
me.
not,
Like it,
Jose.
I come from a time when 90 minutes was the average runtime of a movie. Like I know I'm old, and I'm definitely dating myself, but 2.5 hours shouldn't be it. Like there's a lot of story to tell, and so I think as much as I'm a fan of the book and all the details that it provides, I think this movie did a really good job of being able to summarize a lot of that, and to the expense of maybe just like, oh yeah, we don't get all the detailed internal monologuing of.
Yeah, they go, we've only included 4 things that went wrong. It could have fucked the mission instead of
Yeah.
7 or 8.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think they did a really good job of prioritizing what they were showing and how they were overcoming it.
It's almost like it's an adaptation of a book.
Yes, yes, yes.
One other thing that I really want to point to on the good, connected to it, is the tracking for the box office. We're recording this the first weekend it's officially out, despite us getting a preview weekend in the UK the week earlier, which was nice. Apparently all of Europe as well, actually. So that was cool. That was nice. Yeah, it was out
Yeah,
on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then nowhere until the following Friday. So
interesting.
Yeah.
random. I wonder if they've done that to like get the numbers higher in Europe, and then it'll
I
count
think
to the first
so.
week box office.
Maybe.
Because
It's
yeah.
got to be something like that.
So what are the numbers, Neil? I'm dying here.
It is tracking for a 100 million global weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Erase that
I think
down.
it costs like 190 million. So it's it's going to do well. This is kind of my main takeaway from the film is that we're we're so used to big blockbuster films with starry casts, massive special effects, big name directors, and films that are being really pushed heavily by the marketing machinery, and they're just disappointing or they're fine. So to get a film that is actually really, really good and enjoyable, that is critically reviewed well, book fans love it, and your average cinema goers are going in and loving it. It's kind of a trifecta there, which you don't normally get. So I'm hoping this is going to be like a really, really big hit. However, later on, I will question how good of a hit do we think it's going to be, and where will it sit in a pantheon of films towards the end of the year?
I have one which I really liked, which was a movie original line, and that is when Rocky first invades the Hail Mary and is being all excited, and then Ryland just goes, "Rocky, look at me, my hand is up." And that is just such a teacher line to do when you're like trying to calm down like a classroom of like hyperactive kids. That was that was like a really good like line to throw in to like
Yeah, you can't throw stuff at them anymore.
what kind of school did you go through to?
One where they did.
Probably a Catholic with rulers.
We don't talk of it.
No. I think they had some really good original moments in this film that were not in the book.
Mhm.
Like him coming in and saying "I'm moving in" was definitely not in the book, but they
Oh,
really kind
really?
of played up
No,
the
there
yeah.
was,
That was
but
funny.
it was like more of an invasion of privacy played. This is like what I mean. Like some moments in this like in the movie are like heightened for a comedic effect.
Oh
Like
yeah,
even though
yeah,
like these things technically happen, they just happen in a different way in the book in the
yeah.
movie.
I don't remember the ball at all. I don't
No,
think
he
that was
didn't
a
have a
part of it. It
ball.
was
He
more of
didn't
like a
have a
tunnel
ball. He had a
system.
tunnel system. Exactly. He had a tunnel system. That's how
Yeah,
he got around in the yeah,
the ship.
in the books.
Right. Moving on to the bad, which I think might be a fairly short section, but then again, I don't know with you two. I am.
So
I've. Are you going to complain about the same things you just talked about in the good?
I mean,
in a way,
somehow.
yes.
Yes, but the thing is, like, because I wouldn't really say these things are bad. It's just, I think we're really nitpicking here. But there are, like, a few things, like, where we generally think they're fleshed out. But I think my first bad is, like, kind of, like, shows, like, my overall issue. And is that the fact that they ruined the heroin joke? Which which is like I mean, it's not even a big moment in the books. It's just one of my favorite scenes in the books. Is basically Grace interviews all the astronauts, and he has to basically basically set up the Hail Mary and know like how they want to die. And each astronaut picks a different way of how they want to die. And one of them, Dubois, was actually, I think, nitrogen. He wanted to inhale nitrogen, and because that leads to a less painful death, which actually does play a role later on in the book of why there was so much nitrogen on the Hail Mary. But I think we'll get into that in a minute because I know Jose has a point to that. And then the Russian, what was her name? I can't pronounce it.
Miliana Vantru.
Alicia Ilyunka, no.
Ilyunka.
I'm going to go with the
Milana,
actress's
Milana
name.
Viantrab?
No,
Ilyunka.
Ilyunka, the Russian astronaut. She wanted to die via heroin, but she didn't want to die instantly. from heroin, because in the movie she was like lethal injection with a little bit of heroin. No, she actually wanted to do heroin because she was just like, oh no, I was a good girl my entire life. If there's any if there's any time to get addicted to heroin and experience what heroin is like, it would be a suicide mission. And like this is triggered by Grace finding a fuck ton of heroin and on the Hail Mary and going, wait, what? And what? So, and that kind of like shows like moments where like they included it, but they didn't let it breathe. They didn't let it expand. And I think there's like some moments where, like, I mean, I don't think it affected the movie a lot.
On that astronaut bit, actually, that is one of my tiny bads. Is that the actress who plays her, Miliana Vandrup, is really funny. Jose, one of yours and mine's personal little favourite films that no one really talks about, Werewolves Within, is hilarious. Imagine Knives Out, but with a werewolf. It's literally that film, and she is one of the characters in the film, and she's brilliant. And I was like, oh, good, she's going to be in this. She got maybe 2 lines, and that heroin line is literally one of her 2 or 3 lines. I mean, when the film starts, I was like, oh, cool, she's dead. When it started, I was like, great, she's literally on screen. I'm guessing there's going to be flashbacks then, because she's literally not had 1 line of dialogue, and she barely had any. I was like, oh, I know it's his film, but still, I was like, come on, dude, like, give us a little bit more. Do you know, like, if you're in that film and you're like the actress and you're like going around, oh yeah, I'm in Project Hail Mary, and I was like, cool, were you? You know,
the moment where he jettisoned the body, he had some good words to say about these characters, and he had got emotional. But in the book, he started to remember like when he saw the bodies, and he sobbed, and I was just like waiting for that. Like it was such an emotional release because that was a big triggering point of his memory. And so there are a lot of moments that they unfortunately had to skim over, and like they played to some degree, but unfortunately you just couldn't relate to as much. Like there's they like again they did as good as they could with 2.5 hours, but again there was so much, like, and
time.
especially
Time.
time.
Enough.
But
I don't
like,
want to hear time. I don't want to hear stuff relating
yeah,
to time anymore.
although in the back end of the movie it's like, oh, while you were dead, Rocky, I created some containers and I created the stores of the Talmiba for Earth and stuff. And in the book, that's a pain in the ass. Like they had so much trouble dealing with that.
Yeah.
And
Jose?
immediately came to mind was that guy who's like super easy, barely an inconvenience. Because I'm like, that was a whole plot point. Is like there was a point where you had to clean the fuel tanks to
But
avoid
we've been through this
contamination.
bit. They can't
Yeah,
show every incident of
I
stuff
know,
in
but
the thing.
still, I'm gonna
No,
rant a
no,
little
but
bit.
I
That's
agree
the,
with
one of the few things I wanted.
Jose, and I think like that's kind of the thing. Like, and I said this to both of you, where I feel like the emotional weight and the stakes were a little bit downplayed, and that was missing.
Yes, I'll agree with you on this, because from early reviews and people who had loved the book who had gone to see it, a lot of early critics reviews, they were like, "Oh, it was emotionally." No, I watched it and I enjoyed it, but I didn't. It didn't, like, I wasn't tearing up at any point, because it just didn't have that effect on me. And I think that goes to what you just said there, Marie. I was like, yeah,
That's
it didn't hit the
absolutely right.
emotional points maybe as well as it needed to.
Like when he found out he was actually going to be able to go home with the fuel that Rocky was going to give to him, I'm like, oh, okay, that wasn't that big of a deal then.
Yeah, yeah, and I think
Sorry.
no, and there's also like a few moments like in the intro, like, Neil, you called Grace unqualified. No. Grace is extremely qualified. Grace is extremely smart, and that again,
Being an astronaut, though, because that's the whole marketing thing.
not as an
I'm not an
but
astronaut.
still, like, there's things like for example, the EVA suit in the book. Grace actually tests out the EVA suit. He knows how to use it. He's tested it out on Earth because Strat was so smart. She already always had in mind as a backup. So she had Grace doing all of these things on Earth and always played it up like, oh no, we just need to test this one mechanism and the other astronauts are too busy. So like, and this is where like the flashbacks like come in, because like in the book he puts on the EVA suit and he's just like, hang on, why do I know how to do this? Like, what, like, how do I know where goes something what? And that like triggers him, the flashback of him using the EVA suit. In the books, it's underwater, a water in a tank. And again, this is a scene in the movie that's played for comedy, where he's like like his glasses are askew. He's like struggling how to do it. And I think one thing that was really lacking was Grace's scientific curiosity. He like even though he walked away from like the academic side of science and was a teacher, and he loved being a teacher and he adored the kids that he was teaching. The second all the news of the astrophage hit, he was just like, okay, what is this? What am I looking at? Before even Strat approached him, he was already thinking about the problem, trying to think of like what this could possibly be. And this is also shown like when he meets Rocky in the books. He is like, holy shit, there's an alien, like it's real, like oh my god, all these theories were real. He's again thinking of the science side of things rather than freaking out. So I think all like one thing that was really skimmed over in the movie was the science. And because that's one thing that Andy Weir does really well, is like write believable sci-fi and base his sci-fi on like real things that could be possible. And yeah, it's same with like breeding nitrogen resistant astrophage. As Rose said, that was a pain in the ass. And one of the reasons there was so much nitrogen on the Hail Mary was for this for the reason previous reason I said, because Dubois wanted to commit suicide that way. So it's like all these little threads, like they were there, they just didn't really pull on them.
Because, as we've said, it's only a 2.5-hour film.
I mean, but it could have been a 3-hour film. I don't think anybody would have complained. We sit through Dune. Like, it's...
The thing is, I don't think it's an audience factor anymore. I think it is a profit factor. Because I've heard
longer films don't make as much money.
That is true. And it...
Not as many screenings.
And it honestly, it didn't affect your enjoyment of the film, Neil. I was really like wondering.
No, yeah, exactly.
Wondering about it, because there was just moments where I thought, wait, what if Neil understood that if he didn't have the context of the book? Like another big one was the ending. The ending seemed rather rushed to me.
Right. Yeah. So I got the endings down as one of my bads because I actually thought it had Return of the King syndrome. I thought there was too many endings. The whole bit where Rocky goes, oh no, here's some fuel, bro. You can go back to Earth. I was like, oh, cool. He's going to go back to Earth and be the hero. I literally thought that wasn't going to happen. I thought he's going to end up somewhere or something. I didn't think he was going to make it back to Earth. I thought there'd be some kind of happy third option that would happen, which is actually what we got. But watching it, I was like, oh, he's not. So when he goes, he's going back to Earth. I was like, oh, that's going to be the ending. You see the ship's part. And I was like, I think I might have looked at my watch. I was like, there's still about 20 minutes to go. Wait a minute. So what else can happen? Like, they've solved the thing. He can save his planet. He saved him. And then he realizes the problem with Rocky. So then he's going to go and save Rocky. I was like, oh, cool. Excellent. He's going to go and save his belt. And then I thought, even then, after he saved Rocky, that was going to be the end of the film. Because the way they do the shots of the ships. And I was like, and then no, you get a third ending, which is the coda, where you see him on Rocky's planet. Because they do the fake out that he's back on Earth, right? And I was like, but wait, Rocky's there. And then I was like, okay. So I was kind of like, but this made me laugh, right? Once, and this is one of my bads, potentially, for the ending, right? So he's on Rocky's planet, and Rocky even says to him, oh, yeah, our scientist, we can send you back now. And he's like, no, I'm good. You could have gone home, bro, and you just decided to stay on an alien planet, which is totally fair, because, you know, you're obviously national hero to that that planet now. You literally helped save that planet. Planetary hero, sorry. But what if they weren't clever enough to figure out his notes and everyone had died? Because, like, we established Rocky could get everyone home. It's like you said, there'd be a big fuck you to Strat. He'd be like, hey, you put me on the thing. Oh, yeah, by the way, I did save, I did figure it out, but fuck you guys. Yeah, that wouldn't be the ending we wanted, to be fair.
Yeah. I want to say in the book, it made it seem like they couldn't really fix his stuff, but it was more about the fact that the amount of time it would take for him to get home was just too much anyways.
Also, the food.
It wasn't necessarily... Oh, the food,
the food. Did
you know that they made burgers from his own meat?
Yeah,
they grew his cells.
That's one of the reasons, but they never addressed it. One of the big stakes of the book is the fact that Grace is slowly running out of food. He can survive from an extended period of time because he's eating all the food from his crewmates because they died, so he can eat the food that was assigned to them.
Just saying, he shouldn't have put him into space.
He didn't have potatoes.
But he was running out of food.
I was talking cannibalism, Jose.
And he had just enough food to get back to Earth, but when he went back to Rocky, he wouldn't have had enough food to go back to Earth again. And
Yeah, they didn't mention that at all.
exactly. And then the solution to this was Grace eating Tamiba, the amoeba that they found on Talseti, because it had protein in it. First, Rocky was like, "Eat astrophage," and Grace was like, "No, I cannot digest that." And then Rocky was like, "Well, eat Tamiba," and he was like, "Huh, in theory, I could." And then the scientists on Rocky's planet figure out how to make like food from Talmiba palatable for Grace, so he can. And part of that was using some of his cells, so he basically was eating himself.
Oh, sorry, I was
Yeah,
right on the cannibalism then.
he was.
In a way, yes.
Yeah, I can see why that was cut. I can see why that wasn't in the film.
Well, I mean, they could
Yeah.
have mentioned the Tamiba because, like, that's the reason he couldn't get to Earth. So that's why I was wondering, Neil, did you just think, like, why the fuck didn't he go back to Earth? Because, like,
Well, yeah, I just figured out that he was happier staying there and being a teacher again.
yeah, he was, but
Yeah.
also, like, at the time, like, I don't understand why they didn't age him up. Because the journey to Eret still took time.
Yeah, that wasn't really. That
He
wasn't
looked
really
exactly the
established then
same.
either.
They should have aged him up because in the book, like that flashback, he'd been on Eret for a good chunk of time.
So then, Marie, as a bad for you, this was revealing Rocky in the trailer.
Yeah, and this wasn't even just one for me because I did the reaction video to the first trailer, and a lot of the comments that I received from book fans was like, "I'm not watching the trailer because I heard that they show Rocky and I don't want to see him." And I agree because, like, in terms of like, I would have put that in a what the fuck because that moment was just so out of nowhere. I have to admit, like, when I read the book, I went in it completely blind. I didn't even read the back cover, which I usually like. It's the same with trailers. Like, I usually don't watch trailers. Usually don't read the back covers of books. So I had no idea where the story was coming. So when Rocky showed up, it was like, holy shit. And you also didn't know how he looked like, and they had all the same moments in the movie. Like, for example, like the xenonite wall with all the different types of xenonite. Again, context for the book, that happened because Rocky didn't know how humans operated, so he could see through walls, but he didn't know that Grace did. So he had that's why he had like just one little section that was transparent because he was trying to figure out, oh, how does Grace see? It was like, it's such a slow buildup in the books where, like, yeah, you first see the hand, then you see the little puppet show, then you see like, and then like when Grace walks out, because obviously spiders, a lot of people are afraid of spiders, so he was just like, holy fuck, it's a spider, it's a spider, holy shit, it's a spider, it's a spider. Like, he was like internally freaking out. That all was gone.
Why did it have to be snakes?
That all was gone because not only are they're showing Rocky in the trailer, they're showing Rocky in all the promotional stuff. Like, so we immediately know he's in it. And this is what I mean, like, what some of the scenes that hit really heavy in the books lacked in the movie. And another one was Grace finding out that he was a coward. That shit fucked him up. Like, finding out that he actually didn't choose to be on the Hail Mary, that he didn't volunteer, that he was forced to be on it.
That wasn't made at all in the film. I thought, yeah, I there was nothing here. I just didn't.
You just thought,
there's
he
no.
didn't want to come, and they made him go
Yeah.
anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
as Jose said. He didn't want to go. They drugged him, and that was it. He didn't realize. So that's a really big plot point in him.
That's a
And that was
big
again
one.
a big what the fuck a moment in the books where you realize, like, him, like, we knew he was going to be on the Hail Mary because he's on the Hail Mary, but how he got there, that was a massive reveal in the book. That was just like that he was drugged. And I don't think it was also revealed in the movie that Strat purposely gave him amnesia. Like, that wasn't a side effect of the coma. That was Strat drugging him and giving him amnesia. So when he wakes up on the Hail Mary, he doesn't tell the other astronauts what happened.
Yeah, that was definitely not.
Oh yeah,
we definitely didn't know that was what happened.
It was in a different injection. It wasn't just the injection, but like there was different drugs that he was given. He was put under early because they were like, her excuse was, oh, he was nervous, so he just wanted to go under early and get it over with.
That makes them a lot more nefarious in it, doesn't it, than they seem in the book.
Exactly.
Like, you kind of buy her reasoning for it. You're like, okay, she's like, look, we want you there.
But I mean, that's what made Strat so good in the book, is just like, she just gets shit done. Like they hired her for a reason. She was involved,
German
and she
efficiency is that reason,
well,
Jose.
she was superseded every level of like government, every person. She was the person. There was like a scene in the book that I could see why they cut it because it wasn't really as necessary, but they were saying, "Hey, the earth is going to get cold, so what we're going to do is we're going to purposely create carbon monoxide by dumping a huge iceberg into the water and letting it melt and releasing a lot of gases that'll heat up the earth, and we're just going to have to deal with it because our priority is to stay warm right now."
Yeah,
And
basically
that was a
triggering climate
huge
change.
decision.
Like,
So like, oh yeah, when the sun recovers, it's going to be horrible, but like right now we just need to survive. That was just that whole the whole aspect that they just couldn't get into as much.
Yeah. I want to circle back to the Rocky reveal, Marie. I thought about it, and I've got a counterpoint to why they did reveal him. I think if you don't show Rocky in the trailer, you look at this film and go, "Oh, it's Interstellar."
or it's The Martian.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
disaster film where one man is on a mission to save. And the first part of the trailer, I thought this looks like just Interstellar. You know, serious sci-fi film about trying to save humanity, like The Martian as well. Lots of science. But once you reveal Rocky, and then you see, oh no, it's a Rocky and Ryan buddy movie, then it changes what the film's gonna. You think the film's gonna be, and I'm guessing they focus groups it up the wazoo to go. Oh yeah, more people are going to go and see a Ryan Gosling alien buddy movie than they are Ryan Gosling saves the world from a
100%.
sci-fi thing. So I can see why they've done that. I can absolutely see.
And to me, it's I relate it to Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park. People are like, "Oh my god, dinosaurs!" And I'm like, "You know, you're getting dinosaurs," but then they had to reveal, "Oh, shit's gonna go down. Dinosaurs escape." So like, there's some point like they have to give you some big plot points. And Rocky's in the movie fairly early, so I don't think it was. I knew what
Yeah,
they were going for, and I think it was a compromise that they had to make again to get people that are not book readers to go and check this out.
if you don't reveal him, you think, oh, serious save the world sci-fi film. You do reveal him, and you go, oh no, this could be quite funny, and this could be, and that the humor's there in the trailer for that second part. Once you've seen Rocky, it's like, hey, so I met an alien, and just the tone right there, you're like, okay, this isn't the film I think it's going to be. It's going to be more
Yeah.
fun, and I just think that widens the appeal of it, which is why they've done it. Do we have anything more on the bad?
Yes, no space toga.
What?
In the books, Ryland actually wakes up completely naked, and he doesn't find the clothes, so he makes himself a space toga out of the bedding on bedding from the bed, and just walks around like a Roman for like the first half of the book, and it's just
First half? No, not
no,
that
but like
much.
a good decent chunk of the
A good
book where
chunk,
he's
a
like
couple
wandering
chapters.
around trying to explore the Hail Mary.
An
He's in a
an
space
indecent
toga.
chunk.
And that was just a funny gag that they didn't include. A tiny nitpick,
Not enough time. Not enough time.
but no. But also, there was way too many clothes on the Hail Mary. Like, just
Yeah.
for
Yes.
efficiency and weight, the fact that like there was like sunglasses and bucket hats and like kimono, like Hawaiian shirts. What was the point? Like, again, this makes it more visually interesting, but from
Are they? Are they there in the book?
no, in
These
the book
clothes.
they're all just in the
Okay.
jumpsuits because again, it's space and weight, and you need to build everything as efficiently. Just as a bit of a space nerd, and like that did kind of bother me, where there was just like too much excessive clothing on the Hail Mary.
Yeah. And he looked way too cool in his clothes.
So what Marie's saying is basically she wanted naked Ryan Gosling for a quarter of the
Yeah.
film.
Honestly. That's what I got.
That's really what she's saying. That's really what she's saying.
Although it totally got me, and I definitely want the merch because I loved all the shirts that he was wearing and like the NASA theme stuff. I'm a big fan.
Right. Well, let's move on to the what the fuck of this film. Jose, what is your what the fuck moment?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I just was like I enjoyed the movie and I
That's what you're
thought
supposed
there
to do,
was
though.
yeah, I don't have
You
I
didn't
don't know
sit
if I
there
have a
going,
what the fuck.
"Holy fuck, that was really good. I enjoyed it." Or did you? Maybe you did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like I don't think I really overly felt anything other than just really enjoying the visuals. Like I think if anything the visuals I just really enjoyed and I'm like what the fuck, this is pretty. That's about it. I this is one of those rare moments. I really don't have anything that stood out to me like that.
I don't really have one. So maybe for me, the what the fuck, and it's a minor thing, and it's I think the film has been really overhyped, like overhyped.
Oh.
Like, and I kind of briefly touched on this earlier. Like, it's a very, very, very good film. It's 5 stars for me. It's a really good night out at the cinema. Everyone knows the assignment, you know, from production design to acting, special effects, music, cinematography, direction. It all works. And like you say, most book fans are really fans of the film as well. So they've done exactly what they set out to do. Mission achieved. But and as I said, I think we're so used to big budget starry blockbusters being disappointing in recent years because they're, you know,
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
existing IP, that when we get a really good one, I think people lose their shit and overhype it. Like, where honestly, like, I know this. We're like, what? We're in March as we record this. I haven't looked at. I haven't got my letterbox up, but I don't think this would be my film of the year yet.
Hmm. That's fair. I wasn't expecting it to be film of the year, honestly.
But the chatter when it was coming out from the press screenings, everyone was. I saw someone go, "This is the best film I've seen of the decade." I was like, "All
Yeah.
right, calm
Yeah, I
calm
see that.
down." Like, it's good. It's a really good film. It's a definition of what a blockbuster should be in everything. But I'm just watching it going, you know, I'm like, well, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to like shit on it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I think it's been overhyped.
I think you're spot on with that. Like saying this is the film of the year is all right. 3 months in, I can see that, but film of the decade, a little much.
I mean, it's going to be in the top 10 list purely because I think we're all going to see it and we're all going to really enjoy it. So it's going to be
Yes,
high up there. That
definitely.
will just be obvious. But yeah, I just pulled up my letterbox and just off the top of my head, well, not off the top of my head, off my letterbox because I'm looking at it. Films have come out in the UK this year that I've rated as high, the same as Sentimental Value, amazing, won best foreign film at the Oscars. Rental Family, Brendan Fraser is amazing. That emotionally did more to me than this film did.
Oh
Hamnet
wow.
came out this year. Again, if you want emotional devastation, that's your film. No Other Choice, the Chan Park Wook film that me and David saw. Again, that I feel is no probably on the par with this actually. Send Help. I fucking love Send Help. Send Help actually is my favorite
Oh.
film of the year.
Oh
That
wow.
I can't wait. That and it drops on digital in America next week, Jose.
Oh,
So
I'm
you'll
looking
be able
forward to
to
that.
watch it from the comfort of your own
Yeah.
home. Yeah,
Yeah.
that If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Again, I know that, you know, we had Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Very different kind of film, but also wildly entertaining.
Train Dreams?
Train Dreams come out last year,
It was on a
Oh
list last
wow.
year,
but if it had
Okay.
Jose.
come out this year, it was not last year on Netflix. That's why it was nominated for the Oscars this year. Yeah, I did actually go and see Train Dreams in the cinema the week before, and it is beautiful. Honestly, if it's on Netflix, guys, just watch it. Just watch it. It is so
Yeah.
good. Marie, what is your what the
Well,
fuck?
I actually did my homework and I have two. So,
Yeah.
but actually,
Well, you only have time for one. No, sorry.
um,
Just
actually,
one.
these are two that I've actually carried over from the books. My number one is, and this was my biggest issue with the book and is as close to as a plot hole that you could possibly get. And I was really hoping that the movie, because it's easy to sidestep this plot hole, would do this, but it didn't. And that is the death of Dubois and its a backup. So they both die in the explosion, and that's the reason why Grace has to go on the mission. Here's this thing: Strat is so unbelievably clever. She has every like consistent every like plan B, plan C, plan D
Contingency.
contingency plan in place. I don't think she would have let them be in the same place that close to the launch. I think it's even NASA protocol to separate the number one and the number two that close to the launch in case they get each other sick. So that was one of the ones that like really bothered me in the book, where I thought, okay, that would have never happened. She's too clever for that to have let that happen. And to be honest, this would have been a very easy way to sidestep this in the books and in the movie, because the two of them were actually hooking up. You briefly saw it in the movie, but in the book they actually like announce
Explained it
it
more.
to Grace, and Grace is like just sitting there very awkwardly going, "Why are you telling me this right now?" But they could have like written it the fact that the two of them broke protocol and they like snuck off together and that's how they got caught up in the explosion. But no, in the books and in the movie they were both like running a scientific experiment and that's how like shit goes down. So that was the one thing that really bothered me in the book, and I was hoping they would fix it in the movie and they didn't. And then my second what the fuck was, and this is again applies to the book and the movie, that and they find astrophage in the galaxy. They identify the problem that it's eating the sun, and without the sun, people can the Earth can't survive. And suddenly, the entire world government bands together to solve this problem. No.
Yeah, but it's a hopeful sci-fi film, Marie. It's not real
life.
life.
But from like someone who works in climate change and like reads these articles and currently has a orange fuckwad in the White House who denies the existence of climate change, the fact that everyone gets together without any resistance, it is so unbelievable. That will never in a million years happen.
That is a common sci-fi trope. How many films?
It's called fiction.
I know, but I still I know it's called resistance, but that's why it's a what the fuck and not a bad. Because this would never happen in real life. The amount of conspiracy theories that would jump up, the amount of people who would try to disprove astrophage in the book.
Hopeful sci-fi film. Hopeful.
In the book, there's actually, I think, one line how like at least one cult has erupted around it and are like
the cult of the phage.
Like exactly like a doomsday cult and saying like, oh, it's time for the world to end. But there would have been so much more of that. There would have been so much more of that. There would have been so many podcasts, so many like conspiracy videos breaking down on how this is fake, how the Earth is actually flat. Like it's just, it would never happen.
Yeah. And honestly though, they did kind of make one line out of it in the beginning with Ryan Gosling answering the questions like, what is this? It's like, did you ask your parents? Because I think he doesn't want to be involved in that. It is a really tough scenario to kind of like.
When the kids are asking him in school.
Yeah, we've proven that a worldwide epidemic, no one's going to follow rules. You know, not everyone's going to follow.
Yeah, we had that with COVID.
That's
a good point. Yeah. Like it's like the world would never band together.
Yeah, but the problem is that's not the story. Unfortunately, he has to guide the story into.
As I said, that's why this is a what the fuck and not the bad. But come on, and like I am.
Yeah, I get it.
I am a petty bitch, and I am a cynic. So.
Well, on that hopeful note, kinda. That's all the time we have on this week's episode of the We Needed Roads podcast. I'd like to thank my fellow space cadets once again. Marie, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me under the handle Life on Mars. That is TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter if you actually want to find out how to really save the world.
And Jose, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. My personal account is @ASpanishJoe. If you like my photography, you can follow me at Jose Lopez Photos, and my website, www.jlopezphotos.com. No photos of Jennifer Lopez weddings, Neil. Not yet. I'm hopeful,
not even her space weddings. She could have a space wedding next.
Maybe I'd pass on that one. I'm afraid of dying in space, so.
I feel like you're good. I feel like you've got, not much chance of getting there, man.
Okay.
No need to reach for the stars, literally. And if you want more We Needed Roads nonsense, you can find us, everywhere. We're on Twitter at Needed Roads, Instagram at We Needed Roads, and TikTok at We Needed Roads Podcast. And you can follow me personally at Neil_Gregory78 on Instagram and Threads. And as I always say, each episode, get on Threads, people. It's my favourite social media echo chamber at the minute. Just people talking about stuff they like and being nice about it. It's lovely. We Needed Roads is available on all major podcast platforms. We'd love it if you subscribe to us on YouTube and gave us a follow on Spotify, where you can see the full video episodes as well as hear us. And tell us, were you fans of Lord and Miller's adaptation of Weir's book? For book readers, did you think the film did the story justice, or did you prefer the book still? And how many of you will die for Rocky? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Until next time, I leave you with one of my favourite quotes from the film that sums up my feelings to my co-host. The consensus here is that it would be preferable if you did not die.
We Needed Roads.